Welcome to It's Not What You Think podcast. I'm Tor.
I'm Robin.
And today we have a very jam-packed episode for you. We're going to be going through a lot of different topics, some things that we have experienced recently in relation to the vet, some things we've watched on TV. And why don't you kick us off?
Okay, well, you kind of buried the lead there because actually the first thing we're going to talk about, not what you think it is, hair loss.
So, as men, we are currently experiencing the pattern of the baldness. And I have a hat on right now, not because I'm experiencing that, but because I'm just having a bad hair day and I don't want to show everybody. But we're both on different yet similar treatments in order to reclaim our hair. And I feel like hair, especially like in like society, is something that's like associated with like youth, vitality, beauty. Like if you have really good hair, it's like a symbol of beauty. And I think it's like through social media, hair for men has become something that people really want, which is why we've seen like an explosion of hair transplants and Turkish hairlines.
Yeah, so for me, I probably started like losing hair noticeably, like the crown area. I think like 2020. It's like the first time I was like, oh, like I'm kind of losing hair. But I really wasn't gonna do anything about it. I was just gonna like lose my hair, and I was like, if it starts to look really bad, I'll just go bald. But being the age that I am now, I'm not even 30, and it's like this year I noticed it got like really worse. And yeah, at first I wasn't going to do anything about it, and then it started to kind of get to me a little.
Yeah, you become like self-conscious about it. And I think it's like I think started losing my hair like literally like 16, 17.
Wow.
Mine started really young, but mine has been different than yours.
Yeah, different area.
Mine has been more at like the front, but super drawn out. Like if I look at pictures of me from like a teenager, I used to have so much hair, like the density was crazy. And it wasn't ever something I like thought about. But then I think when I was like 18, like this person I was with was like, oh my God, are you like losing your hair already? And I was like,
he said that to you?
And then I was like, oh my God, am I? And I've always had a big forehead. Like I never not had a big forehead. So losing my hair just sort of like emphasized the five head.
The Rihanna of it all.
So I think it also really got to me in this year on my YouTube channel. I had a Turkish hairline company, like hair transplant company, reach out to me asking if I would do a video for them in exchange for a free hair transplant. And I was like, wow, this is unsolicited. And I don't know how to feel.
They looked at you and they said, that's what you need.
You'd be the perfect candidate to get a hair transplant. And I was like, wow, I really don't know how to take this because I felt like it was a bit of a read.
Yeah.
Like they were like, oh, look at that.
Look at that receding hairline.
And honestly, I would be lying if I said I didn't consider it.
Yeah.
The thought about taking a random unsolicited surgical procedure in a different country definitely like threw me off though. So obviously I didn't do it. But it really made me like start to wonder, like,
is it that bad?
Is it that bad? And like at what point do we either like do something about it or just like buzz it right off?
So this is the not what you think it is part for me. Before I started experiencing any sort of hair loss, I would always I thought it was so simple. Like I was just like, oh, like whatever, you lose your hair, you go bald, like who cares? Until it happens to you. I was
literally
like,
until it happens to you, you want to know how it feels.
Literally, it was like, wait, I don't actually feel like ready to be bald or be anywhere like near that yet. I think like, well, I say this now, but we'll see. I think like if I'm like when I'm older, you know, it's like maybe you just like at that point you don't care anymore. So, well, actually, this leads me to what we're doing. I'm on a topical form of minoxidil. So how it works is I just have to apply it twice a day, and how it works is like it's actually first you like shed the thin hair. And I think right now I might be in the shedding period because I haven't seen results yet, and I've been on it for like 3 months. I don't know what's going on. but it looks kind of worse. But I'm also switching to the pill form because I found out that it's really bad for cats. So obviously I stay away from my cats when I apply it, like, and I'm going to near them. And they're really good. Our cats are really good. They don't like lick like pillows. I was reading online, like people were saying, "Oh, my cat always licks my pillow."
That's like weird.
Actually, I think it's normal. I think our cats are weird for not doing
Doing
stuff
that?
like that. So, but even with that, I've already asked to switch to the pill form, so I'm going to be doing pill form, and I'm really hoping I see better results because I know there's a shedding period, but not what you think it is. I didn't think that over 3 months of applying it, I'm still not seeing results, and I'm maybe just gotten worse, which again could just be shedding.
Yeah, like I think so we did it differently. I went to
Mm-hmm.
a dermatologist to I guess have them like assess what my situation would be. And it took me 10 months to get this dermatologist
Exactly.
appointment.
That's where the problem is.
And that's like a whole other kettle of
Mm-hmm.
worms, but they recommended to me the pill form of minoxidil, which I've been taking for 3 months. And it's hard to know. Like, I think I've noticed a change. Like, it's very like minor. They say the full period is like 6 months, but yeah, like you did yours through like a company as opposed to
Yeah.
like going to a
Because it's
dermatologist.
faster. I can't
It's
wait 10
faster,
months.
but it's like also like then you don't have like that person, like that doctor there, like seeing if things are like working or not.
That's not true. The clinic that I'm with
Well,
is
like,
very responsive. I can get
yeah,
a phone appointment for free anytime.
no, but a phone appointment is like different than like having them actually like
Look at your
see and like
hair, look at your
look
head.
and like monitor.
They saw photos. I had to send photos.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll see like once the pill form happens if like you
Yeah.
notice like a change.
Well, fingers crossed. I mean, I think I'm gonna be okay because the biggest worry was like wedding photos. But the thing is, it's all the back of my head. So really, how many photos am I gonna take with the
Just get
back?
a hat.
Oh, for the wedding, that's gonna look really good.
Yeah, like I guess we'll see. I mean, if hair transplants weren't so expensive in Canada, like I definitely would be considering one.
Mm,
But I don't think like going abroad to get one. I feel like the whole
yeah.
idea of going somewhere else for like plastic surgery just like sketches me out a little bit.
Mm. It's also better, I think, to do it later in life, right?
No, you should do it
No,
earlier.
hair transplant.
Yeah.
Who was saying that you'd have to do two in your life?
But I think it's like hair loss is obviously like super common. I just think it's like in our current like society where we can see
Mm,
like everything on social media.
yeah,
It's like hard to be like, well, I see all these beautiful people with like amazing hair.
yeah.
Like I want that for myself.
And you
Whereas
know what?
before it's like people just like bald and like just call it a day.
Honestly, I never even used to notice other people's baldness, but now I really notice it because I think I'm thinking about mine.
Yeah.
But like honestly, before then, I never even paid attention, never noticed, never even saw bald patches. Like it never even crossed my mind. But now I feel like because it's something I'm aware of, I see it on other people too, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't love that. So continuing on the topic of appearance, can we talk about how, because you're talking about culture and society and whatever image, everyone's skinny again. It's
Yeah.
scary.
Honestly, I feel like body positivity happened during the pandemic, maybe because people were like not exercising as much. They
Yeah.
were like, there was just like a
We all gained
different,
weight. Everybody
yeah, there
gained
was
weight.
like a different culture around
Mm-hmm.
like body during the pandemic. And I feel like the culture of skinny is like back. And look, like every single housewife now on Ozempic.
So
So
skinny.
almost all the celebrities now,
Yeah.
super skinny. It's really rare to see like different body shapes other than like really, really skinny be like
Mm.
celebrated. And I think the Victoria's Secret fashion show was just relaunched
That's
and
so symbolic.
that's so simple, even though
Yeah.
they opened with Tyra Banks, who was plus size currently.
Is that
And
true?
yeah,
Wow. I would have thought
but
that.
almost all of the models were
Mm.
skinny, like very, very skinny. And it's like even Heather, like from Salt Lake City, just
Mm.
seeing how she was more of like a real person. And
Yeah.
now throughout the season she's really like slimmed down.
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Even us though, like we've changed, but we didn't use Ozempic. We used Noom, which is just
Yeah, we
changing our
use
eating
new.
habits.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like body positivity is sort of like changed in the sense that it's more approved up to be like really skinny.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I don't think we're anywhere near being like skinny like that. I think we're like healthy weight.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, I'm no expert, but I feel like the fact that Ozempic like makes you not crave food or whatever
You
makes
just
you not.
basically are giving yourself an eating disorder.
Oh.
Well, if you're taking something to suppress your appetite so you
Yeah,
don't eat, like that is
yeah.
an eating disorder.
Wow.
You don't think so?
Well, I don't know if I don't know if I would say taking Ozempic itself is an eating disorder. I just think there's like it
I
does
mean, if you
give.
have diabetes, it's not an eating disorder.
Yeah, it is giving like a bit. It's like if you take it to lose those last like 10 pounds, that's kind of problematic. You know what I mean? Like
Why?
because you probably didn't even really need to take it if you're just looking to lose 10 pounds. But and I
Yeah, just
think
like eat some brown rice.
and it seems like that's like a lot of the celebrities like they weren't overweight to begin with.
No.
That's what's so surprising. Like you weren't even overweight, but now you're like so
I think
skinny.
it like also leans into it's like the concept of like gay fat, straight skinny.
Mm,
It's like there's different meanings of like acceptable bodies in different like cultures and like different like subgroups. So like
yeah.
for celebrities, they're meant to be like the epitome of like
You know what? I
beauty.
will say the camera does add 10 pounds. Every
Yeah.
time I watch our video form of our podcast, I'm like,
Do you want
that's not
to
what I look
call
like.
the Ozempic clinic?
No, no, but it's like I see what people say with the camera adding 10 pounds, and I'm like, really? Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I think I'm skinnier than I am. Like, good for me. But every time I see it, I'm like, what? I didn't know I looked like that. So imagine being on TV. So
Yeah. And it's like, especially, I think like Housewives is like, and the culture surrounding Housewives is very like
yeah,
toxic in the sense that
and that's why we're covering it.
literally, and that's what we're like contributing to. But I think it's like these women just get like picked apart
Yeah,
for
that's
every
true.
single
Yeah,
for how they look, how they
yeah.
talk, how they act, how they like literally do like
And the
everything.
social media hate
The social media
is
hate is a lot.
out of line, out of order. Like it's insane.
All out of everything.
Yeah, people really honestly some advice, if you watch these shows, don't take them too seriously. It's meant to be light. It's meant to be fun. Like people like if you find yourself really hating and writing hate comments and
Get a
no,
life.
oh, okay.
I
Oh.
mean, it's true. Get a life. Like,
Get a life.
get a hobby, get a life,
Start a business.
Go for a walk. Like, if you're at the point where you're like, I'm just gonna write this person like a nasty comment. Like,
over a TV show it's really not meant to be that serious. Like I promise you.
There are bigger problems in the
Yeah,
world.
it's really supposed to be just like fun. So don't take it too seriously. But anyway, that's our little, I guess, word of advice of the day. So, I mean, we touched on it a little bit, but yeah, for us, what happened like with weight management or whatever is I don't know if you've heard of Noom, but I went on it last year, late end of last year, and we kind of just changed the way we eat, not what we eat. Like,
No, we changed what we eat.
but I think what I'm trying to say is like what's great about Noom is there are no restrictions.
Well, it's very like self-guided.
And
It just gives you like the information.
yeah, you eat everything. There's nothing that's like off limits. Oh, I can't eat that. And you stay away from labeling food like bad or good. But it's just making like educated choices when you're eating things that are nutritious, and then also making room for fun food.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important because like food should be something you enjoy as well as something that satiates you and like nourishes your body, but it should be like a bit of you should make sure there's like some fun food that you have and like
And
you
I think that's
enjoy.
why like diet culture
Doesn't work.
it doesn't work.
No.
And maybe that's why people have gone to like
A pill.
pills or like
Yeah.
drugs, like because changing your diet or like going on a diet for like a certain amount of time, it's like that'll only work for like that period of time. And then if you like revert to your old ways, that's you're gonna just revert back to like where you started. But like we essentially fundamentally changed like how we ate. If I look at how we ate during the pandemic, it was like a lot of like very refined, like white
We were so
flour
tired.
things. We were so tired.
We were so tired. We just wanted to eat quick food, honestly, because before the pandemic, I ate a lot of vegetables. Like, I remember I would cook
Yeah, you were like straight
so
up
many.
vegan.
I was vegan vegetarian, and I would cook so many veggies, like per meal. My breakfast also always had like fruit and like high fiber. I think part of the pandemic isn't just that people were like physically at home and physically not doing stuff. It's that people were also mentally like drained. I remember like a year or maybe even like half a year. I don't even know how long into it. I was just so tired. Just so
Yeah.
like
I
life
mean, we were
was.
like living unnaturally, like
Yeah,
super isolated,
yeah,
very digital.
yes,
And like we're still like obviously living like it still lingers to this day. But
yeah,
yeah, thank God for Noom. And you could have been a Noom spokesperson.
yes. I did get an email. I got an email to do a video. Ultimately, I didn't end up going for it. I don't know how this stuff works at all, but I found it strange. They asked me to like sign off on the video being distributed before they even wanted to like talk about potential compensation. Not that I'm who am I? I'm nobody. It's not like I'm like famous, but I just thought it was strange. So I emailed and I said like, why am I signing off on this when I don't even know if my video is going to be selected? And they just said, oh, that's just the standard. That's like normal. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm not really interested then. Again, I don't know. Maybe I'm too cautious, but I just thought it was
I think
odd.
you definitely err on the side of
I do.
caution.
Yep.
Um, and like who knows what could have like come from it, but yeah,
Yeah, but who? I mean,
who cares?
I really, yeah, honestly.
Maybe we'll get a new sponsorship now.
Yeah. Noom, if you're listening. So I think for our That's Where the Problem Is segment, we actually had a very stressful day yesterday regarding, well, no, the whole day was stressful, but what was stressful about it was one of our cats, Mr. PB. He was displaying some scary behavior. I mean, scary, I don't
I
know what
wouldn't
to
say
say.
scary. I would say
Yeah.
concerning.
Concerning
So
behavior.
for those that have like male cats, it is apparently fairly common that since they have tiny little urethras, they could have problems passing urine.
Yes.
And he was going back and forth from one litter box to the other every like 5-10 minutes for like
Mm-hmm.
2 hours, 2.5 hours, trying to pee, straining to pee, nothing coming out.
Yep.
A little quick Google search basically said if your cat is like doing this, obviously this is like they should be able to have this bodily function fairly easily. So if they're
Yes.
straining to do so for
Yes.
like a long period of time, it could be that they have like a blockage in their bladder,
So
which
urinary blockage,
yeah,
which is very, very dangerous.
and it could become quickly fatal.
Yeah.
Similar, honestly, the closest thing I could think of is like a similar to like an appendix. Like because the
Um,
bladder could get so full and then it could rupture and then like bacteria could get inside of
yeah.
their body,
Yeah.
causing sepsis,
God
bacterial
forbid.
infection, they could die fairly quickly.
Yeah.
So our regular vet was closed. We go to this different vet.
And that's
And
where the problem is that we
and
had to go to a different vet.
the problem was, yeah, we had to go to a different vet. Vets not being open 24 hours. I get it. Vets are people too. But I feel
You
like
mean
there's
you
a
mean you don't mean 24 hours, you mean 7 days a week.
24 hours, 7 days a week.
You want them open 24 hours?
I mean,
That's an
I feel
emergency room.
like, I guess, but it's like, I feel like there's like a difference in like how, maybe this is just in BC, maybe this is just in Canada.
Mm,
It's like the approach to healthcare for humans is very different than the approach to healthcare for like
for
animals.
animals.
And I feel like just as a whole, we were so uninformed about
Yes.
like what could take place. We really like trusted the vet to like give us only what we needed. But when we went there, they did a physical examination. They couldn't find anything wrong on the outside. But then they presented us this estimate, which was...
It was so over the top.
It was so over the top. There was like 20 things on it. They were going to do like a million procedures, and the estimate was like over $1,600. We're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we got a few of the procedures done.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I was like, it wasn't what we thought it was, in the sense that I felt like they initially were taking advantage of our, I guess, fear of our like care for our little baby.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're essentially like, we didn't know what it was. They couldn't figure out what it was. Essentially, like, it could have been, it was Halloween.
So there are, like, medically, I think there are two things. The urinary blockage that we talked about also could have just been a UTI. Male cats do get UTIs. The behavior of, like, feeling the need to pee and going in the litter to try to pee over and over in the morning, that seems very UTI. Because I think with urinary blockage, don't quote me on this, I don't really know this for sure, but I don't even know that they would be trying to pee. I think it would just be like...
Yeah. So, I mean, we actually walked away with learning a decent amount, and like potentially how to approach this in the future. God forbid if it happens again.
So his bladder, when the vet felt his bladder, it was empty, which means he had been going, and him not being able to go was only, I guess, in the morning, because we did have some pees at night in the litter box. So one of them definitely would have been his, considering his bladder was like empty and he does drink water. So, and the third option is purely psychological. So it's been Halloween, and I don't know what this trend is with Halloween and fireworks. Personally, I really hate fireworks in general.
I'm so done.
Especially honestly, at night when people are sleeping.
People were doing them at 4 a.m. So if you are the person that launched fireworks at 4 a.m, shame on you. Shame on you.
Shame on you, and you actually owe us a good amount of money because we had to pay the vet, and you disturbed our peace and the cat's peace. Which is...
Honestly, and I looked it up afterwards. Fireworks are illegal. They are illegal.
So you're a criminal.
Not only are you a criminal, but the fine is up to $50,000, and after this it'll be $51,000 because we're adding our lawsuit onto that.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, it's really hard to say exactly what happened, but by the end of it, also we had to leave him at the vet, which we always hate that. We hate leaving our cats at the...
Especially at a
vet we don't know. This is the first time we deal with this clinic. But, thank God they were open and close by and everything. And he ended up... Blood tests were mostly fine. It did indicate his white blood cell count was a bit high. So again, infection, UTI infection, I think maybe. His body scans were totally normal. They got a urine sample, and they said there was an unidentified crystal, which means it's not really like a harmful, right?
I think it's like it was small enough where they couldn't figure out which type of crystal it was, but if we didn't do it, chances are it could have formed into something which, like, at the end of the day, my theory is the fireworks scared him to the point where he felt fearful to go to the bathroom. So he held in his pee and gave himself a UTI.
That actually, I would guess that too. I think he held in his pee because, and I have a bit of like guilt over it, he really hid so much those days with the fireworks.
Well, the fireworks were going on for hours.
It was disgusting.
It was like, it was so bad. And like, they were even going on yesterday. And I was like, what is this culture of fireworks? Like,
I don't know.
Stop it.
It's really strange.
Fireworks are not what you think they are.
And a lot of people have PTSD and get triggered by them. So let me just put that out there too.
I mean, especially in this like culture where there's like so many global wars happening.
Yeah.
I don't need something that sounds like a bomb.
Exactly.
I don't need bombs going off. And that's what he probably thought, because obviously he couldn't see, he doesn't, I don't think he can fathom like a firework. He just understands a loud bang.
Yeah, cats are scared of loud. He's scared when I sneeze.
Yeah.
If I sneeze, he literally will go hide. So they are scared of loud noises. And I was saying, I feel guilty that we didn't try to take him out. Because, he was under the bed.
But we didn't know. Like, I feel like...
I didn't know it was that bad.
we have a big bed, like, and he was deep in there, so like there
Yeah.
was no really like coaxing him out. But now I think we are better prepared because
Yeah.
I think the problem is when going to a vet or dealing with something health related for your pet, you can't communicate with them. So
No.
we don't know what exactly the problem was.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we are trusting that these vets are not trying to upsell us and
Mm-hmm.
they were going to inject him with 4 different things. We were like, no, no,
So
no, we
near
don't
the
need like,
end, when we went
we
to
don't need
go
all
pick
that.
him up, the vet suggested like 5 or 4 different injections, and then it seemed excessive. It's honestly not about the money. It just seemed like
It seemed very
really excessive. He wanted to give him like anti-anxiety. Well, okay, there's the antibiotic one, which we said yes to because we were like, if it's a UTI, let's fix that. There's one that physically like relaxes his muscles, which we said yes because we said, okay, if it's like a urethra thing, let's like relax his muscles. But there was other stuff that I barely
There was
understood.
one that was anti-anxiety, and then the fourth one I literally. So that's the other thing. The problem is when vets or doctors speak to you in medical terminology. I need layman's terms. I need like dumb it down for me because you can say the scientific name for like 7 different drugs. I don't know what that means.
And that's where the problem is. When you ask someone a question that's really yes or no, and they give you an essay. Throwback to the ring situation from the last episode. If you didn't listen to that episode, go ahead and listen to it. I would ask a question to a certain sales associate that was like yes or no, and I would get a paragraph. And I would be more confused than I was before.
Honestly, the problem with communication, I feel like after the pandemic, people have like stopped really understanding like how to like efficiently communicate.
How to connect and communicate.
Yeah.
That's a really, you know what, maybe the next episode we'll talk about that.
We'll do a deep dive.
Deep dive. That's a big issue, I feel, and it's kind of sad. Yes, we'll write it down. Okay, so don't worry, our cat is fine. He's been peeing, he's been sleeping, he's been playing. Honestly, he was always acting normally. He just attempted to use his litter box.
Well, he was acting normally until he did that.
But even when he was attempting to use his litter box over and over yesterday morning, he was being himself. Like he was eating, he was playing.
I mean, it felt like he was a bit like needier than
he's been very needy.
He's been very needy. Obviously, I think he just needs like comfort right now.
Yeah. We are going to move on to the last part of the podcast, our quick recaps of Housewives, Real Housewives. Also, please leave a comment if you're enjoying the new format, if you want more of anything. Do you love our Housewives recaps? Do you want more of that? Do you want more of the other topics? Let us know. Engage. Okay, so Salt Lake City. I think right now the biggest thing to recap is I'm a Bronwyn stan. I can't believe that in the beginning of the 2 newbies, I'm not even counting the other newbie, to be honest, I forgot her name. Maylee, I forgot. I don't know.
I mean, she was absent.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I was leaning more towards Brittany, but as the episodes have gone on, Team Bronwyn, I think she's an amazing new addition. She brings so much to the show, and with her conflict with Heather, I'm fully Team Bronwyn. I felt like Heather was like gaslighting, not taking ownership. I'm starting to be like, who is Heather? Has Heather always been like this?
I think Heather has always been like this. I mean, because like she was ride or die for
Jen Shaw, the actual criminal, and we can say that.
Yeah, and it's like I said this in the last episodes too, but ever since like the black eye situation, I view everything she says sort of like skeptically
because she lied. Yeah,
and like
we have touched on this.
Yeah, like the hot takes she has, I'm just like, well, like I don't really trust her judgment because if you're gonna be like, I'm gonna let Jen Shaw punch me in the face and then lie on her behalf to protect her when she is like a literal scammer, and then she's gonna be like, well, I don't trust her character, and it's like, well, you clearly don't have a good sense of judgment.
Like you're not the arbiter of like the truth, like being authentic. Okay. Also, where's Meredith
as well?
Where's Meredith?
Meredith was totally, maybe she's at like through school or something.
But they're supposed to show that on the show.
Maybe people got bored.
Oh.
I mean, her singing in that, it was, the singing was bad. I'm sorry.
I mean, okay. It's
Is
not
it
really,
meant to be good?
yeah, it's not really meant to be good. But yeah, last time I saw this happen where a full-time housewife is missing in episodes was Nene Leakes. So Nene Leakes, like, I don't think you've watched those seasons yet. She comes back. Oh, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
I already know that.
And she literally is like missing out of episodes. So I don't know if the same like agreement with Nene, they did it with Meredith. It's just kind of weird.
But also I'm like, what were her storylines this season?
No, but even she's not even like filming with other housewives. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
She was like, she was in the last episode at the party.
But then after the party, because like the party ended quickly, right? Because it was like the middle end of the party. The party ended, and she didn't really say. I mean, she was there, but I don't think she like said anything in the episode.
And I don't think she was in this like new episode like at all. I mean, but also like I'm not really missing her. I feel like Bronwyn is like there's like enough drama happening.
Yeah, but that's unusual. Typical Real Housewives format is it.
Maybe she doesn't want to be a part of it anymore.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Speaking of who shouldn't be a part of it anymore, Brittany.
Oh,
I'm so over her. The church storyline. Who does a church service at their house? And inviting Heather, the ex-Mormon, and Angie, the Greek Orthodox, and then getting so fake upset about wine.
I think that was just her wanting to show that she can sing. I think it was about this. Speaking of singing,
if that clip was to show that she could sing, it's not what she thinks it is because I
thought she was a good singer. Brittany is about as good of a singer as she is in choosing a partner. Okay, listener, YouTube, like, I don't know, Brittany, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City singing. I thought it was good. I don't know. Okay, I guess we agreed to disagree.
If she's good, then so is Kim Zolciak.
No, that's so not. No.
I don't know why you feel so protective of Brittany.
I don't. I actually don't even like her on the show.
Well, you're really sticking up for her.
I think she can sing. For me, it's objective. Like, it's not like I'm team, like, oh, like, no, I literally said in the opening of this segment, I don't even really like her on the show anymore. Or, like, I find, like, there's something not genuine there, but I do think she can sing. And I think that whole thing of come to pray at my house was to show that she can sing. Okay.
Honestly, they could have just, like, fully deleted that scene. Like, I mean, I'm glad she's moving on from Jared or whatever, Aaron, whoever it is at this point. And I think it's good that, like, Heather called her out on that because it is getting, like, super, like, annoying. But, yeah, she can go.
All right. So I don't like this on any franchise when they do this, but why are the husbands fighting? Why are the husbands having their own scene where they sit down together? I don't care.
I mean, Lisa involved Whitney's husband, Justin.
I agree.
So she, like, opened the door there. But then her husband, I forget his name.
John.
He was acting a fool, honestly.
He got
the first time
aggressive. It was weird.
The first time I get it, like, because obviously, like, was it Justin?
Justin is Whitney's
he
husband.
Like, took a step forward, which, like, okay. But then, like, the second one, that was just weird.
Yeah. Real Housewives producers, if you're listening, please let's stay away from the husbands. I don't like, especially like on New Jersey.
I was gonna say
so over the top. I think it's because Joe Gorga is almost like
he's almost like
a housewife because he's so entertaining. But
he's such a
don't say
Jennifer Aydin's words.
Don't say that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it to recap for Salt Lake City. New York City, I mean, I don't even know what to say other than I'm still bored. I don't understand how Erin and Jenna have a feud out of nowhere. It was that, like, random.
Yeah, that really came out of nowhere.
It makes no sense. Erin was just like, I don't want to be her friend. She's not been there for me. I've literally what's the context?
But been there about
what? Like, what happened?
Your mom is sick, right? Like, her mom is sick, but I mean, and then also the stuff going on with her husband. I thought the husband stuff, like her and Abe,
Yeah.
they really made it out in the trailer that was going to be like bombshell. Like,
Yeah.
this is going to like be like a major part of the season. And then I feel like they got over it really fast.
I think for Bravo to save the franchise, they need to bring back Luann, Dorinda, and Sonia, even though...
Or someone very similar. Like, I don't know if they'll bring back old
the
housewives.
OGs. I just think
they need to bring back people that are not as hyper aware that they're being
of themselves.
produced.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a problem. Do you want to add anything about New York City recap? I mean...
The Sai Uba stuff, I'm bored with. Rebecca Minkoff, boring.
Rebecca Minkoff, I literally can't believe
Raquel, I like her.
I like Raquel. You know what? I actually shout out to Raquel. I like her a lot.
I feel like she was very authentic.
She seems less producing. She seems more to just be like, okay,
yeah,
like I'm here, you know.
Yeah, I just don't like how much they're like producing it. Also, Jessel having a Clueless birthday party with 0 outfits from Clueless is hilarious.
What do you mean?
None of the outfits she wore were in reference to the movie.
I thought they were all from the movie.
None of them
were from bamboozled? The movie.
She took inspiration from Clueless, but none of like. If you're saying, "Oh, I'm having a Clueless party,"
yeah.
I'm like, okay, so you're going to dress up as the characters, which is what the guests did. But she dressed in things that, like, I guess could live in that universe, but they weren't really like Clueless, and that also didn't need to be a whole like segment. It was so boring. It was just her coming and getting her picture taken in different outfits and being like, I'm gonna have an outfit change.
Speaking of Jessel, she does like, I'm so glad she's a part of the show because I feel like she brings something to the show to me that's like Real Housewives. Like, she to me,
because she's authentic.
Yeah, and like her comments and stuff always make me laugh. Like, there's like a quirkiness to her that I really like. Again, I really don't know what Bravo's gonna do with this franchise, but I hope
they need someone to make it. Like, they need a pot stirrer.
They need a, what's that term?
Force multiplier.
Force multiplier. I don't think
they need like really ugly crying. They need like either one of their lives like needs to implode.
Oh my god. Okay, let's not wish that on people. But
no, but that's the nature of the show.
Okay, I disagree. Actually, disagree. I don't think it's about, no, that's not what they need. They just need a cast that's less self-producing.
I think they have too many people in PR.
Yeah, they're all in PR.
They're like all in PR, and it's
that's why I think I don't know if it would really make sense, but they have to somehow bring back the OGs. Like, it doesn't seem organic. Because how would Dorinda and Sonia Luann run in the same circles as them? Like, I don't even know.
No, they've like fundamentally changed like the demographic. And I don't think I think they have potential.
The show? It's like, season 2, and I'm like, can't think of anything exciting that has happened.
Jessel is by far the best housewife, and I think Uba is also very authentic.
I like her too, yeah.
So I think if they build it more around Jessel and Uba and Raquel even, I think that could be very interesting. Sai, boring. Aaron, super boring. Jenna, really boring. Brynn, I think Brynn is fake. It's because I think she's too aware of how she presents on TV, because there was that clip where she's basically trying to produce Rebecca Minkoff into like...
She told her how to fight with her on TV.
Yeah, when I say this, you should say that. And it's like, no, just like have like a fight or like have a conversation.
Okay, I feel like that's all I can say about New York City.
Yeah.
So then to our throwback, we're on Real House of Atlanta season 9. I mean...
Not boring.
Literally, other than amazing. I don't know how else to summarize it, but this is the season where Kandi is just absolutely like not holding back. She's had it with everybody. Kandi is standing up for herself. She's done taking, just taking it from I feel like she's just standing up for herself. She's telling Phaedra about who she is. She's telling Portia, like, to sit down, and she's just, she's standing, that guy that's trying to like sue her, that worked for her, she's telling him, like, you should be grateful that you work for me. She's really standing up for herself.
I was just gonna say the Portia storyline with her trying to have a baby with
Todd.
With Todd.
Todd Stewart, nonetheless.
Todd, very attractive.
Good for her.
Good for her. And I could see them actually making like really
good looking
babies. Yeah. It just seems kind of like random. Like she's just like, I need to have a baby right
No, she
now.
literally, you know what she did? She was like, I need a baby. Who do I have a baby with? And then she was like, what about this ex of mine? Like this is an ex of mine that
Oh, that's gonna like muffle.
she was like, this ex of mine that, you know, we had a thing going but never happened. And she literally just like dialed his number. So
Yeah,
I think that's
it was kind
hilarious.
of like quick how they like linked up.
The Kenya and Matt
Oh my god, I'm
situation is
so
very, very troubling and hard to watch. You know, so, you know, he's very abusive and
he's very abusive and everyone keeps telling her to like stay away.
mm-hmm.
And there was that one part where he was like he like punched the driver or whatever and he was
Mm-hmm.
like, well, tell her to like stay away from me because I can also see like I don't think he's not a good person at all, but at least not in the show. And I do see it though where she keeps like opening the door for him. Be like, oh,
Yeah,
he's a really good guy. I love
yeah,
him. I want to take him back. And then like snap out of it. Like
yeah.
he literally has broke the windows of your garage like multiple times. He's hit people around you. He's
Mm-hmm.
threatened you. Like, and they haven't even been together that long. Like, it's not like they've been together for like 10 years and like
Mm.
she has like this huge history with him. I think similar to Portia, she wants to have a family.
Yeah, she said that.
She said that. She wants to have that like white picket fence life. Matt is available to her, at least in this time of like the show, but she can't seem to like decouple from him, at least right now.
Yeah, it's hard for us to imagine what that would feel like. Especially like you said, it's not like a really long term relationship. Like it's newer,
No.
but so it's hard to
And like, what
really.
does he really bring to the table?
I don't know. Sometimes I think you just, you know, she said like she feels like he's the one, or he could be the one, and
Is it like because she wants him to be the one to like,
yeah,
because that fits in like with her fantasy?
yeah.
Because he's really not the one.
Well, we can see that, but in saying like when it's in her shoes, it's hard for her to see it. Clearly, it's hard for her to see it.
Yeah. I mean, if someone's like disrespecting you to the point where they are breaking your property and threatening
Yeah,
you, like, I think, like, we've seen so many like cases of domestic violence.
yeah.
Like, one minute he's breaking the window, the next minute he's like punching her.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's a red flag that needs to be taken seriously, and also just be like, if yeah, if he does that, the chances that he'll actually hit you are pretty high.
If
So,
he was hitting a
and
driver,
he hit the driver. Also, he sent her some really threatening texts.
yeah, before all of
So
this.
yeah, really hard to watch. Let's see. I mean, I think she seemed pretty done with him at the end of the episode, but let's see what happens.
I mean, if I guess like we'll see as like it goes by.
And then Cynthia Bailey and Peter, they're officially divorced or almost divorced, or pretty much
They're
almost
in the
divorced.
process of divorcing.
And she goes to support him, and then there's this really funny scene. I think he was probably drunk, and
Oh,
he's
he was
clearly
definitely drunk.
still in love with her. And he says that she, you know, implies that she go back to his place. And Cynthia Bailey just, she says, "Well, that's awkward," or something like that.
I mean, he didn't invite her. She showed up. So I think that's sending a signal of something. They're in
Of
the
what?
because they're in the process of divorcing. Like they're supposed to be
But she
separating.
wants to still support him. She said that
Yeah, but it he didn't invite her. And I think if
because he
you're
said he didn't want to like. He thought it might be inappropriate, and then she said, "Well, next time invite me and I'll decide."
yeah, I think though it's like if you're in the process of divorcing like any type of breakup, you shouldn't if you're like because the divorce seemed to come from Cynthia. Like Cynthia was pretty much the one that like wanted the divorce
Yeah,
while like he's living somewhere else. Like she was like in every conversation that they showed,
yeah,
it was like her being like, well, it's either gonna work or it's not. And like it's not
yeah,
working.
yeah,
So I think for him not to invite her is like respecting a boundary.
yeah.
But for her to show up, I think is sending a mixed type of signal. So I can see why he would like try and like invite her back, but I think that's kind of
I don't think her showing up was any signal, to be honest. Like personally, I think he just was like drunk, and he was just like he's obviously in love with her. And...
I
But
mean
maybe he took it as a signal. I don't know. Who knows? You never know.
maybe he's just trying to see how far like it would go.
Yeah.
And clearly
Okay.
not that far.
Well, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe. On Spotify, please give us like 5 stars and follow us there. Leave comments as well if you want to.
Can you leave comments on Spotify?
On YouTube. On Spotify, I might have a poll up, and vote in the polls if you want to engage with us. Thank you so much for listening.
We'll see you all next time.
I wonder how long it was.